Hey y'all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We just want to say hello. We greet you from All Photos Considered. I am Jewel Wilson Murphy once again. We are so glad that you're here. And today I just want to talk about all the things that we've talked about. I also want to remind us of our chit and chat focus, hurts, hangups, and habits. And I know we talked about it when we first started almost 10 months ago-ish, maybe 9, I'm not sure. But we talked about it because our focus is always to tie our conversations back to our chit and chat about hurts, hangups, and or habit. So what is a hurt? A hurt could be classified as any life experience that may have damaged your heart. Something that was offensive to you, events that occurred in your life that crippled your ability to deal with the world in a healthy way. And you all know that we always want to come back in a positive. Some of the things that may have hurt us may include abandonment. You might have been abused as a child, some dysfunction, maybe some betrayal, some situations of divorce, and maybe some drug abuse, neglect, just so many things that we think about when we've been hurt. Well, we just want to remind you that there's always a way out of a hurtful situation. And as we talk about our hurts, we also want to talk about some of our hangups. Some of our hangups may include so many different things. And as we talk about our hangups, we talk about those things that have blocked us, that have kept us from progressing, that maybe further us away from what God has planned for our lives. Those things that shape us by the things that we have been in our thinking, in our mind. They may have bent our thinking. Some things that we might have experienced as children, some of the unhealthy attitudes that maybe we've adopted as we've gone along the way, causes us to have hangups of anger, anxiety, worry, sometimes arrogance, sometimes our body image, sometimes we just don't like how we look, maybe some codependency issues, maybe some control issues, maybe some fear. And that fear factor is one of the things that I want to highlight today as we chit and chat. Fear keeps us from doing those things that we really want to do. So we've talked about the hurt, we've talked about the hang up. So now let's talk a little bit about the habit. And so the habit, it tends to be unhealthy, an unhealthy pattern that often starts as a perceived remedy for some problem in our lives. It ends up turning into maybe a chronic bad behavior or an addiction. Habits are the repeat default scripts we run to when we're going through a tough time. It may be bitterness, it may be eating disorders, it may be gambling, it may be gossip, it may be isolating, it may be being dishonest, it may be self-harm, it may be spending problems, it may be so many things, wasteful pursuits. Well, hurts, hangups, and habits is our navigation tool for Jewel Wilson Murphy, Chit and Chat. And so why am I reminding us of what hurt, hangups, and habits are? The reason is because we get in some places, we get complacent. We don't do the things that we want to do. Remember last week we talked about self-care? Well, self-care means that we let go of those things that have hurt us. We let go of those things that have become habits for us. We let go of those things that have become hang-ups for us. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about taking the plunge. Take the plunge to doing something different. For me, I'm taking the plunge to go to a trip, taking a trip where I am going to just fly out for one day, for a few hours, and I'm going to go have lunch. Why? Because that's what I want to do. Sometimes it's just okay to take that plunge, to not procrastinate, to make that flight arrangement, to go ahead and schedule that trip, to go and have lunch at any destination you choose because that's what you want to do. Now that's so weird. Most people are saying, Jewel, you're just going to go have lunch and come right back? Yep, I'm going to go have lunch in Atlanta and I'm going to fly back the same day. I may throw in a massage, but the point about it is self-care. Doing that thing that works for you, that makes you happy. It may be something so out of the ordinary. It might be so different for most people. And most people, when I share with them, they want me to add more hours to my time in Atlanta. They want me to add more opportunities to do more things in Atlanta, spend the night in Atlanta. Well, that's not what this is for. This is for me to do what I want to do because I want to take care of myself. Some of you already know that I will be retiring from my job of 30-something years in about 150 days. So I'm really practicing what retirement would look like. Today is a day of vacation. I am practicing what retirement looks like, not putting too much on the agenda, if anything, just kind of relaxing my head, of course, coming here and recording because this is something I like to do. This is relaxing. Once I get here, gotta get here. Sometimes that's hard. But once I get here, because I'm able to talk to you and encourage me, let's take that plunge. Let's let go of those hurts, hang-ups, and habits that keep us from doing that thing. It might not be flying out to have lunch somewhere. It might be, like I said last week, just calling that loved one that you've not spoken to in a long time, writing that thing down, journaling, setting your goals. Set some goals of things that you want to do in the next 30 days. Some people do a 5-year plan. Some people do a 1-year, 3-year plan. But I'm encouraging us to take that plunge, write down that hurt, that habit, and that hang up that has kept you from doing this and or that. Write down the plan that will help you within the next 30 days do that thing. Will you all comment below for me as I'm with All Photos Considered? Will you comment below what is that thing that you've not done that you wanted to do, but you're going to commit to doing in the next 30 days? You know why? Because I'm no longer hurting from whatever the thing that's kept me from doing it. I'm no longer going to be a part of that habit that has kept me from doing that thing that I wanted to do. And all those hang-ups that I've had, I'm going to let them go. Please comment below that thing, that hurt, hang-up, and habit that you have that has kept you from doing that one thing. Is it making a flight to go to have lunch somewhere? Is it calling that friend? Is it forgiving someone? We always talk about forgiveness because forgiveness is always a thing. Hey, I appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and commenting. I promise you, if you comment, I will respond. Again, remember, I am here with All Photos Considered. We love having you here. All Photos Considered will give you 10% off your photo or media need if you do what? If you mention me, Jewel Wilson Murphy. Have a great week.